I'm on a journey to hear every song ever recorded, and I've been keeping up with 2025 records pretty good. So far, not a whole lot of really great stuff, but that new Smash Mouth cover of The Weeknd, it just might make me a Weeknd fan. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens there. So Smash Mouth have a new cover out. Papa Roach have a new single out, but we're not talking about those today. We're talking about every album dropped in 2025 so far. We got Lil Baby Wham, and we're just going to do little short reviews of each one. Lil Baby Wham, some of the beats are okay, but most are absolute trash. And the vocals, some of the worst mumble rap this side of Post Malone. Very poppy, very overproduced, and cringe-inducing on nearly every note of this record. I'd stay far away from this if possible. But if you do happen to get close, maybe just stick with the track Dumb, Dumb, and Dumber, which is aptly titled, but goes pretty hard nonetheless. That was Lil Baby with Wham. I'm going to get closer to you. I want to get closer to you. Paleface Swiss. Paleface Swiss. Cursed. Finally, Paleface Swiss are a band that are brave enough to take on the sounds of Slipknot's early material like Iowa and some parts of the self-titled and do something a little different with it at the same time. Mark Zellweger is channeling the gasps, the grunts, the exasperation of a tattered and torn Corey Taylor of days yonder past, and it works well. Enough is a good track to start with if you don't want to delve into the Iowa sickness just yet. It explores the hip-hop side of early Slipknot, even as Paleface Swiss, that is an unusual band name, even as they are making a name for themselves in their own right, which is pretty darn good. But this is essentially the first two Slipknot albums rolled into one, which a lot of people want, and I like it. So check that one out. Way better than Little Baby. The Little Baby. Next up we have Bad Bunny, and DTMF is the name of the album. And I admit I don't know enough about the 5 or more genres that are being blended here. There's house, reggaeton, which I know a little bit about. There's house. Excuse me. I know a little house. I know a little reggaeton. But there's layers and layers of things like plena, yabaro, salsa, and stuff like that I simply have no reference point for. I will get to work on exploring that in future content, but this album, Bad Bunny, it sounds like a skip for me, and I've got a little bit of a Bad Bunny taste in my mouth from when my Spotify got hacked and some idiot listened to 24-hour-a-day Egyptian pop music and Bad Bunny. Really ruined my listening OCD-ness. Anyway, next up is Ethel Cain, Perversity. This is a drone / slowcore album that is scary, ambient, and I could see having this on while cleaning the house or really freaking myself out. That's a Weezer reference, which Ethel Cain fans probably wouldn't get. I asked Ethel Cain to go to the Weezer concert. She said she'd never heard of them. How lame is that? So I went to her room and I got arrested. Franz Ferdinand, the Human Fear. This album, I like this one. It sounds like pure 1980s pop rock with 2025 production, and it's a lot of fun. While Franz Ferdinand are not in my ranking system here on the channel yet, this one would make them move up if they were in my list. This is definitely a bop. Audacious and Hooked are some of the highlights at first listen, first glance. It's a good time. It's like the Strokes, if the Strokes had a pulse instead of a stroke. Next up is Lambrini Girls, Who Let the Dogs Out. Wait a minute, is that right? Are you telling me that it's really called Who Let the Dogs Out? Woof, 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 woof. If you like Emil and the Sniffers, which I do, this is a band that sounds an awfully lot like them. Same attitude, same vocals. Um, very, very punk rock, very wild, and very homo. I would recommend it. Next up is Moonchild Sonali with Full Moon being the album. And I really like the album artwork of Full Moon. And I had to Google the genre because, wow, this is future ghetto funk. And it's a new genre that Moonchild Sonali is showcasing. And she's absolutely doing a magical job championing her own genre. Grab the Big Booty, which is the second track of the record. It's really good. I like the Big Booty. Next up, speaking of big booties, we got a Big Booty Beetled with Ringo Starr. Look up. And yes, Ringo Starr kind of did the pop country move like everybody's doing these days. But he's a Beatle, so it doesn't suck too bad. String Theory is a highlight at first listen in the kind of mediocre malaise of a pop country record that's done better than most people are doing it. It's not making me ear bleed or seize out of my brain, but it's nothing special. Probably unless you're a Beatle defender until you die, or a Beetleborg. If you're a Beetleborg, you might want to check this out. It's all right. It's just okay. Tremonti is next up, and we got The End Will Show Us How. The microphone is on. Very good. Tremonti, The End Will Show Us How focuses on the guitars with lyrics and vocals kind of taking a back seat, which I'm not a fan of at all, but if you like crunchy guitar solos, it kind of has a 3 Days Grace rock and roll feel. You might like this. Not my cup of tea, as Brendan Snyder would say. But yeah, I don't like Tremonti. And I don't say names too goods. Six Tones and Gold. It's K-pop, and apparently they're boycotting Spotify or something because I couldn't listen to it on the Spotify. It's not going to be in my algorithm. So, whatever with those guys. It's K-pop. It's probably good. Next up is Borns with the slash through the O. What is that called? I don't know. Honeybee is the album, and I thought this was going to be a shoegaze snooze fest. That's what it looks like. That's what it appears that the artist is. But it's got shades of Queen and some serious bops slathered all over this gorgy, sexy sex pop record. Saxophone, sex, just nasty saxophones. I like it. It's got me interested to hear more by this artist called Borns with the slash through the O. Next up, we got David Gray, Dear Life. And this is finally an artist that I have a past with. He is in my auxiliary list. I'm trying to get through his catalog right now, and he's just stacking them up. He's got a magical, gravelly voice, kind of a twist on Bono from U2, if you will. It's a deep and winding album of singer-songwriter works. It's not a rock album by any means, but it's got some serious soul to it, and it doesn't sound too bad. But it's not gonna be heavy or hard or, like I said, rock. It's gonna be singer-songwriter, but done at a pretty high level. Next up, we got Dear Seattle, Toy. Is this the first emo record of 2025? Yes. Vibrations of the Used and even MCR in some songs and instances where the singer cries to be injected with the Cure. I think somebody has, let's see what we got. I think somebody has already injected you with the Cure because Blink 182 guitars and synthesizers, this has all the makings of what we celebrate here in the channel. So this band is one to keep an eye on and an ear out to the ground on for sure. Now we got Eidola with Mend. This is a post-core experimental rock sound. Some fresh sonic experiments. If you like post-core experimental rock, Eidola with Mend, you might like it. I didn't like it. It was alright. Elia minus Dia. It's pop made by a pop producer. There's glimmers of good songs, but the vapid and flushy slush production of the producer producing themselves, it's not. It's mid. It's kind of boring. It's kind of boring. I wouldn't listen to it or them. Knock 2 by the artist is Knock 2 and the album is No Limit. And Knock 2 is a DJ, so this is essentially a mixtape of dance music that does go hard. And Fast and Slow is a highlight if you want to see if you can dance to this dance compilation of sorts. It's pretty engaging for a DJ dance album. Next up, we got one, and I'm going to have some hot takes here, so forgive me. Mac Miller, Balloonerism. This is absolute 0 out of 5. 0 out of anything. Wouldn't recommend this to an enemy or a friend. It's mushy, gibberish nonsense that sounds like it was pasted together with AI. And I would say stop disrespecting the dead and putting out these snippets of them talking over lame beats, but nobody will listen. Or will you? I don't know anything about I know that, I don't know. I don't like it. It sounds awful. No disrespect to Mac Miller. It's just, it's noise. It's just noise. I don't know how this got released. Tokyo Blade, Time is the Fire. I heard Brandon Snyder talking about this one. Some back to the basics heavy metal. Okay? It looks like Tokyo Blade's got 14 albums since 1982. And they kind of, to me, sound like a more unhinged Def Leppard. So it's pretty engaging. Victoria Canal, Slowly It Dawns. There's some interesting lyrics, but the album is called Slowly It Dawns. And the album cover is her gently pouring water down her face, which accurately represents what you're going to hear with this album. It's inoffensive. And am I rockist? Are you? Are we rockist? The Weather Station, Humanhood. I think I'm rockist. It's folk music with a glassy aura around it. Ultimately, kind of leaves me eager to get on with 2025 because so far it hasn't been great. January, not good. But is that because I'm rockist, or is it because you're rockist? Check out that ghetto funk music. That was pretty good.
I'm singing along to every song. Never always been crazy, but feel like I'm clever. Chili won't let me just a flight away. Come save me. Chili won't let me. Stands the slur for gay, and I'm just listening to flush you, man.